Hello, everyone. Can we start? Okay. Hello, everyone. I would like to introduce Bhante Pannarathana. It is an honor to have him to give a Dhamma talk tonight. Bhante Pannarathana is from Sri Lanka, and he's here in the USA studying at the university for his PhD. And we are very honored to have him give us a talk tonight. Bhante is very knowledgeable also in Pali, and he has taught many students Pali, the language. And there will also be a Pali course that Bhante will be teaching in the coming months. With that, I would like to turn it over to Bhante to begin his talk.
Okay, let's start. Please, firstly, let's pay homage to the Buddha 3 times. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dear friends in the Dhamma, we are ready to share the Dhamma knowledge with you, especially the Lord Buddha's preaching for the benefits of all world. And I would like to thank Dhamma sisters Yvonne and Dhamma brother Terry, who invited me to deliver this kind of Dhamma sermon. Thank you, Yvonne and Terry. And I am privileged to be here to have share my Dhamma knowledge with you. As you know, today our topic is the concept of Mara. Concept of Mara. It is a kind of burning topic in Theravada Buddhism as well as Mahayana. And also, this is the one of major topic among the Western and Eastern scholars. Therefore, we chose this topic to discuss the concept of Mara, especially based on the Pali canon, Pali Tripitaka. Pali Tripitaka. When we read the Pali canonical sources, that the suttas, we can read that the most of Maru, Papima, like that in the Pali canon. That the especially why we talk about the about this concept. This is very important because that everyone as Buddhist, according to Buddha's instruction as Buddhists, our aim is to defeat Mara. That is our aim. That is why we practice Dhamma. That is why we follow the instruction of the Buddha. Buddha also, he became a Buddha. He became high enlightenment after defeating Mara. He defeated Mara, then he became high enlightenment. That therefore, and also Buddha advised us to follow the path to defeat the Mara, because we have to face different kind of problems due to this Mara. That means sometimes, the most of places in the canon, we can read as a person, the Mara as a person. Sometimes it has been personalized, this Mara concept. Therefore, You know that sometimes in the English sources we can see that the Mara, evil one, or like that problem maker, like that different names. It has been used for Mara, evil one. The translation is Pali word is Mara. The English translation mostly evil one. You know that the words evil one, it is very clear to understand what kind of person he is, right? What kind of concept it is, because evil related to the demerits, unwholesome, right? Unwholesome demerits. Evil always make problem for us. Evil lengthen our sansaric life. That is why uh, Buddha's instruction to avoid from evil, to develop, to do merit, to develop our minds in the wholesome, uh, to develop wholesome volitions. Buddha always instructs us. When we categorize Buddha's sermon, we can understand actually, if as a summary, if we take as a summary, he preaches avoid evil and practice merit or practice wholesome. That is his teaching. Every discourses, he aimed to nirvana. Nirvana means, what is nirvana? Nirvana means our final aim, liberation, our liberation. To attain that kind of that stage, that spiritual stage, we have to follow the Buddha's path. Buddha's path is none other than else. That means Buddha's path is that the eightfold path, no other one. That is the path. You know that however, this Mara is that the opponent of liberation. We are, as Buddhists, we are doing so many deeds, we are practicing Dhamma to achieve, to achieve the enlightenment, to achieve the nirvana. But however, this Mara make problem us. He make problem us. He always with us, with our mind, actually, especially in our mind, because he make problem in our mind. How we create problem in our mind. So uh, he that means that's concept Mar. We identified as our evil volitions as Mar. This evil volition makes us that the anger, hatred, ill will, delusion, craving, passion, different kind of things. Those evil volitions arise in our mind because the power of the Mar. Then kind of I'm going to explain how it become a Mar, right? Then also the sometimes, in our, when we summarize our canonical sources, especially in the Pali Canon, when we read the Pali Canon, we can find out the five kind of Mara actually. It is very famous, Panchamaru. It is very famous, Panchamara, because that the this Panchamar, when we examine this concept, it is very easy to understand how this Mar the make problem for us, how our journey become delay due to his power. Then we can understand when we examine these five kind of Mar. The first one is actually the, the is Kandamara, Kilesamara, Abhisanskaramara, Machumara, Devbhuttamara. There are five. Let's explain a little bit that who they are, or what are they. The first one is Kandamara. I think in the Pali Canon you can read that means the word Kanda, Panchakanda. In the first sermon of the Buddha, in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, uh, he explained us that the how our life becomes suffering. In first truth, that means dukkha satcha. It has been mentioned in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. He explained as the different kind of sufferings. There are few sufferings. The last one is, jati dukkha, jara dukkha, vyadhi dukkha, marana dukkha, like that. Explaining that the lastly he mentioned panchupadana kanda dukkha. Panchupadana kanda dukkha. What is that means? Actually, the five aggregates not the suffering according to Buddha's teaching. Some people say five aggregates is suffering. It is not suffering actually. It doesn't make problem. The how it becomes suffering. That means not panchakanda, panchupadana kanda. Panchupadana kanda means that the cling of five aggregates. That is suffering. That the panchakanda is not suffering. Five aggregates is not suffering. Panchupadana, clinging of five aggregates. That is the main point actually. Buddha erected in the sutta actually that he clearly explained Panchupadana Kanda Dukkha. Why then why the birth becomes suffering? Birth becomes suffering. Why? That the reason is we cling our five aggregates. That is why birth is suffering. The every being when after birth they have to face different kind of problems. Those are categorized in the sutta: jara, vyadi, marana, soka, parideva, dukkha, domanasu, in different ways, right? But all Buddha mentioned that all are suffering. Why suffering arise in our mind? The reason is we cling to five aggregates. If anyone does not cling these five aggregates, he has no suffering. Actually, even though the Buddha and Arhat, they had they had five aggregates, but they didn't take it as a suffering because they saw the nature of the five aggregates, but they completely stopped. That means they are uprooted their journey. But that due to this the problems, because due to birth we are facing different kind of many kind of problems in our day-to-day life. That is why we practice dhamma to practice to become a peaceful, to make a peaceful mind, because to face with courage face to our problem. Our Skandamara, what are the Skandas? There are five Skandas: Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Rupa is form. Vedana is feeling. Vedana Sanya means perception. And Sankara means mental formation or fabrications. And Vijnana means consciousness. These are the five aggregates. Five aggregates. What is the nature of five aggregates? They are impermanent. They are not permanent things. But all we have five aggregates, but mostly in the sensual realms and material realms, we have five aggregates. But in material realms, they have no five aggregates. Actually, they have only four aggregates. In the asanya satta, in the sense the material, they also have one aggregate. But others, all the beings, they have five aggregates. We have five aggregates. But Buddha mentioned, because we are clinging these five aggregates, that is why we have we have suffering. We have lots of problems. We have, because we couldn't resolve our problems due to clinging of five aggregates. That is why Buddha mentioned to stop this clinging, But we cannot do it just thinking, just practicing. We cannot stop just the clinging of five aggregates. But we have to practice. With the practice, we can do it. Okay, then other one is that the five, in many different suttas, especially in the Samyutta Nikaya, that there is another separate chapter related to five aggregates, Kanda Sanyutta, Kanda Sanyutta. There are many suttas Buddha mentioned actually why Kanda. Buddha mentioned that the five aggregates, clinging to five aggregates is suffering. That is the Kanda Mara. Kanda is a Mara because it is changing, and always this, what is the nature of this skandhas? The nature is always changing, and it's close to death. Then we don't like death. We don't like to face death, but it is changing, and we are always it's moment by moment, day by day, month by month, year by year. We are we are closing to the death. But however, we don't like the people. They don't like death. But however, we have to face it. That is the one. But five aggregates is more because these five aggregates always it is changing, and it is always that we call that the jara. Jara means always changing, and it's ripened. That means close to the death. Kanda Mar. It is Mar also is Kanda. Another one is that the Kilesa Mar. You know that the Kilesa Mar, who is that it is Kilesa means what is the Kiles? Kiles means actually defilements. Kiles is defilements. Then according to Theravada sources, that the Kiles, defilements also identify as kind of Mar. Then what are the defilements? Actually, there are many. There are many. Some people say there are 1500 defilements. Actually, in the, you know, that the Buddha's parinirvana, you know, there are three parinirvanas related to Buddha. In the suttas mentioned about the two kinds of parinirvana, two demises. One is that the under the bo tree. Under the bo tree on the Vesak full moon day, Buddha defeated the Klesamara. He eradicated all the kilesas from his mind. That is called the kilesamara. Kilesamara. He defeated the kilesamara. He defeated kilesamara. You know that the, and also, you know, in the at the after 45 years under the Sala tree at Kusinara Royal Park, he you know that that kills it's and also it is also kind of parinirvana. Parinirvana means he uh, stop his life. That means that is called anupadisesa parinirvana. It's a break his all aggregates. That is also parinirvana. That the sopadisesa parinirvana we call the Buddha defeated Klesamara under the bo tree. That is called, that event calls the Kilesa, defeat of the Kilesamara, kind of that the, you know, at the moment the different sources shows that the Buddha uh, actually defeated the Devaputta also sometimes in according to our commentarial sources and canonical sources, it shows as the defeating of the Devaputta also. However, that the Kilesa Mara is that there are many evil thoughts, evil volitions arise in our mind. There are many kind, hundreds of thousands of big, because as you know that as the Buddhist learners, Buddhist scholars, you know that the all the evils they arise from three root. We call the loba, dosa, moha. Loba means that the, you know, the greediness or passion or like that, greediness, loba, desire, and also the anger. Oh, anger is the waste, and delusion is the moha. These are the three roots uh, generate all the evil thoughts and volitions. Those thoughts and volitions become more powerful, and then people do different kind of evil acts, evil deeds due to the power of these volitions. Yeah, you know, in the Pali canon and other sources, they source different words for the evil thoughts, that, you know, Loba, dosa, moha, tanha, isa, macharya, kukucha, makka, palasa. Like there are many words actually. Even though there are many, but when we categorize those things, actually, all the those only evil volitions, the generate from the loba dosa moha. That means that the desire, anger, and delusion, those are the roots. However, according to Abhidharma explanations, that these three are not arise. They are not arise simultaneously in our mind. They are arise separately, especially that the lobe and those two do not arise in our mind simultaneously. But how the evil thoughts arise in our mind? Uh, Lob and moha, or dosa and moha, always with two arise, that the different kind of evil volitions. So that that is the way, that is the phenomena how evil volitions arise in our mind. Actually, that the opposite of that, the opposite of evil side, that means the wholesome side, that is different. But in the wholesome volitions, they are, that means the opposite of those volitions, that means aloba, ados, amoha. That means that the non-greediness, or the loving kindness, and the intelligence, those wholesome volitions arise in our mind simultaneously. That is why we call sometimes the trihetuka patisandhi. That means sometimes these through three volitions directly connect with the birth of the beings. If if those three directly connect with the birth of the beings, that person, that individual, become a powerful person in the society. That is a trihetuka pratisandhi. The two, according to the our Dhamma sources, that the one who born with trihetuka pratisandhi, with three wholesome root, he is the person, he or she is the person who can realize this dharma in this very life. Because the others, if someone born with the two reasons, two wholesome reasons, they are they cannot realize this dhamma. Because what is the reason? That means trihetuka people, they born with the powerful merit, because powerful merit that has been done in their previous life. But the two reasons, if anyone born with two reasons, they cannot born like other the qualified person. They have some disqualities, sometimes bad qualities. Therefore, they cannot realize this doctrine, because to realize this doctrine in this very life, we have to be born as a qualified person. To be born as a qualified person, we have to, that the power of meritorious deeds that we have done in our previous life, to to born as a uh, qualified person in the next life, we have to collect, we have to gather lots of merits to be a qualified person in the future life. That is why Buddha advised to us to do the meritorious, to do the good things, wholesome deeds. That is the things. Therefore, that the defilements is the defilements, we saw that the different kind of defilements, and also we say the fetters and hindrance. Fetters and hindrance. There are 10 fetters that have been mentioned in our Pali canons. 10 fetters, to become a noble person, we have to destroy those 10 fetters step by step, actually. First three fetters, if anyone can destroy first three fetters, he can be a sotapanna person. That means extreme entry. What are those? Sakkaya Ditthi, Vicikiccha, Silabhata Paramasa. That Sakkaya Ditthi. Sakkaya Ditthi means actually clinging of five aggregates. Vicikiccha. Vicikiccha means doubt about the triple gem, and they are the past birth and future birth, there are no doubts. And other one is that there's, that the Silabbata Paramas. What is Silabbata Paramas? The believe the heretic religious cult, that's or philosophies. That is the Silabbata Paramas. Those are the hindrance for the stream entrance. To become a stream enterer or to become a Sotapanna, that one, because we have to destroy, we have to eradicate those fetters, those first three fetters. To become a Sakadagami, that means once return, we have to fade away the next two fetters, that means Kamaraga and Patika, desire and ill will. The, we have to practice more and more, and we have to reduce the power of Kamaraga and Patika. Then one can become a once returner. Then after destroying those two, that means first five, one can become a non-returners. We call Anagami. That means last five desire to be born in the material world, so immaterial worlds, and mana, uddacha, avidya, conceit, that means restlessness and the ignorance. The destroying those things, one can become arhat, but we have to practice it. We have to practice. That is why Buddha instructed for his followers to practice the avoiding demerit, practicing merit, practice the noble path. Therefore, that the 10 fetters, and all other ways, the 5 hindrance, that is also related to klesa mara. 10 fetters related to the other parts of the klesa mara, and also that the uh, 5 hindrance we call pancha nivarana. Kama chanda, vyapada, tina midda, uddhacha kukucha, vichikicha, desire and ill will, vyapada, tinamidya, and sloth and torpor, and uddhacha kukucha, restlessness, and vichikicha, doubt. Those are the 5 hindrance. Those also we call the problem makers. We identified as that the problem makers. They cover our vision. Uh, those hindrance cover our knowledge, our wisdom, or our uh, true knowledge, ultimate knowledge. That is so. Those kind of defilements, fetters, and hindrance all are related to kilesa mara. That is the second mara. Actually, what is the third one? Third one we call the abhisanskara mara. In certain texts, we can identify as the kamma, also abhisanskara mara. Other word is for abhisanskara called the kamma. Kamma. What is the actually karma is the formation, the formation, or we call the mental formation, that kind of the volitions, chetana. Then it has been mentioned in our Pali text. It is very clear, chetana hambikave kammang vadam. The abhisanskara means that the volitions that support to extend or lengthen our sansaric journey. That is called that abhisanskara mara, that all the volitions which appears in our mind related, that means, as I mentioned before, related to unwholesome side, those kind of volitions we identify as the abhisanskara mara. In the especially in the Madhupindika Sutta, it has been mentioning clearly. In the Madhupindika Sutta, Buddha means the Mahakachana Thera, Arahat Mahakachana Thera, has explained very well the short sermon of the Buddha. Then, according to those explanations, that when we use our 5 faculties, that means eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and also the mind. When we use our faculties, automatically that volition arise, because when we As example, when we use our eye, we see what? Objects, forms. What happened then? When we saw forms, that the uh, uh, eye consciousness arise in our mind. Chakkuncha paticca rupecha uppajjati chakku vijnanam. Then tinnan sangati passo. Okay, combine all these three, that there is a contact arise. Contact arise. Then passapacchya vedana. As a result of that, the contact, that the feeling arise. Feeling arise. Then what happened? Yang vedeti sanjana, tan sanjanati. What we feel, those are the things we identify. Yang vede tan sanjanati. Yang sanjanati tang vitakketi. Yang sanjanati tang vitakketi. What are the things we uh, uh, identify? Those we are thinking about that, like that. We are thinking. That means we are what we think day to day life. What we think, what we saw, and what we hear, what we heard, and what we smelled, and what we tasted, and what we contact to our body. Then those are the things we are always thinking in our day to day life. That is why those kind of volitions we identify as that the that the abhisanskar mar. Then therefore abhisanskar mar, that we call the karma. Due to bad karma, due to evil karma, our journey, moment by moment, our journey is become length. That is the way. That is the way. Then that is abhisanskara mar. Then who is the machumar? In the Dhammapada also said the machumar, sabbe bayanti machuno, sabbe bayanti machuno, machumar. It is called machumar is the death. Actually, machumar is death. When we death, we call that we go to the subject of the mar. We entered the subject of the mar. That is called the death. What is that? That in the first sermon, the Buddha explained. Buddha mentioned in the first category of the Four Noble Truth, that in the first truth, it's called that the Maranampi Dukkam. Maranampi Dukkam. Marana is kind of mar. What is Marana? What is Marana? Venerable Sariputta explained later the Four Noble Truth with details for the benefits of the monks who entered the order later. Then Venerable Sariputta explained what is Marana. Katamancha also Marana. Ya tesan sattanan tammi tammi satta nikaye chuti chavanata bedo antardana machumarnang kalakiriya kalebarasa nikkepo. Ayang uchata also marana. That means it is disappearance, the breaking the aggregates or cutting off the life, the faculty of life. That is called marana. Marana. There are two kinds of death. We are talking about two kinds of death, Sanika Marana and Sammuti Marana. What is Sanika Marana? Sanika Marana means we are changing moment by moment, moment by moment. That is called the Sanika Marana. Then what is the Sammuti Marana? Sammuti Marana means at the end of the life, we face to the uh, death, that is called Sammuti Marana. Sammuti Marana. That is why Machumara. Machumara. All the beings who born here, born, they cannot escape from Mara. But Buddha also, they Arahant also, powerful Arahant also, powerful sages also, they all had to face to the death. They couldn't escape from the death. But however, the Arahant, they could stop the birth. They have no birth, no rebirth. That is the things, because we are different from them. Actually, even though we die, our journey is not stop. We cannot just think. We just thinking we cannot stop our journey, because we have to attain that the ultimate liberation. Till then, even though we like or not, but however, we have to follow the follow the nature. Nature is what is the nature till the destruction of all defilements in our mind. We have to born again and again and again and again. In certain sutta, and I think the Sanyutta Nikaya Vibhara Sutta, once Buddha mentioned, so in the Vibhara mountain, Buddha mentioned, dear monks, saw this, that mountain. If one person, as example, Buddha given a simile there, the one, if it collect all the skeletons, bones after death of the one being, in the one cup, within one cup, the skeletons and bones are larger than Vibhara Parbat. That means the mountain. That is the Buddha means. We can imagine how many times we born and die again and again within one cup, right? I think the cup, that means we call Ian. That's a count in the cup. There are countless years. We can count the years in the cup. But Buddha also the fulfill his perfection, countless kappas. We call countless kappas actually. In the Pali word is Sara Sangha Kalpalaksa. It's a countless cup years. It has countless years. But however, Buddha mentioned that simile is very important. If anyone collect that all these cattle after death of one person, the heap of these cattle larger than Vibhara Papat, larger than Vibhara Papat. In every birth we have no. Sometimes in some certain birth we have no cattle, we have no bones. If we born as a hungry god, so if we born as a deity or Brahma or any other certain kind of the animals, they have no bones, no skeletons. But but Buddha said like that. Buddha says like that. You know how many times we born again and again. Once that it's called one lady whose kids died, and she buried it a certain cemetery, and every day she going to the cemetery, she was crying. She was crying. Okay, she was crying. Once Buddha visited that cemetery, and Buddha saw that lady, and Buddha asked, "Dear sister, why you are crying here?" "Oh my Lord, my kids died. Then that is why, with the sorrow of my kids' death, that is why I'm crying here every day, coming here this cemetery." Buddha asked then that from that sister, uh, what kids, which kid, why you crying for which kid? Then, no, venerable sir, I have only one kid. I had no many kids, but I have one kids only. Only one kid, my child, he died, and I buried here. No, dear sister, in your sansaric life, you have buried your kids more than 84,000 times. Buddha mentioned then. The Buddha, we cannot understand, we cannot see it, because it is not not easy to realize those things. But however, Buddha mentioned, dear sister, you have buried your kids more than 84,000 times in this cemetery. I think many other very famous story, that the one father once he asked before death to bury his body after his death, when the place, pure place, that means the no one buried before. Then he saw a tree in his garden. It's a large tree. It was growing 1,000 years, the large tree. He advised at the last moment, dear son, after my death, please uh, bury my dead body, my corpse, and that place, because that tree is growing more than 1,000 years. That's a huge tree. I think no one buried their place, uh, that place, because therefore my body, please deposit that place. Then after that, those children, after his death, they are trying to uproot that tree. that tree because the deposit their father's body. Then the Buddha was traveling, walking on that place that he saw and asked, dear children, what are you doing? If you need this tree, you can cut off by trunk, but why you are uprooting this tree? No, no, venerable sir, we need not the tree. We need the place because our father asked, our requested to deposit his body in this place because he wanted to bury his body on the in the pure land, pure land, pure place. Okay, pure place. That is why we are trying. Then at that time, Buddha explained to those children, dear children, you have buried your father's body more than 500 times in this place. Buddha mentioned more than 500 times. That is the way, you know that is the way, you know we are even though most of people in our society, they don't think about that death, but there are some people, they are doing different kind of demeritorious deed, the evil deeds, because without thinking they are death and rebirth. But however, we have to face till the end of the samsara, we have to face that phenomena. The other one is the Devaputtamara. Who is Devaputtamara? Devaputtamara is Mara is interpreted as a deity. Mara is interpreted as the deity. Devaputtamara, in the different places, the Devaputtamara, it has been mentioned in different suttas, in the certain places. He met the Buddha and he requested traces in the certain points from the Buddha, and he tried to dispel the Buddha's concentration and the monks' concentration and the disciples' concentration. It, he tried to make problems in many different ways in Devaputtamara. That when we talk about that the Buddha's higher enlightenment, we say the Buddha defeated that Devaputtamara. However, Buddha defeated 5 Mara under the Bo tree. But when we read the commentary of Jataka, Jataka commentary, in introduction of the Jataka commentary, it's it shows all the Buddha's life at the very beginning, from Dipankara Buddha to till the end of the Buddha's life. That means his great demise. But it has been mentioned, it has been commented in, that means in different ways, that the how Buddha defeat the Mar. How Devaputta Mara came to Buddha, because when Buddha start the meditate under the banyan tree, and on that day, Mara thought that I'm going to defeat, because that if he attain high enlightenment, I have to face many problems, because many people will be uprooted their defilements, and they will attain Nibbana. It is problem to me. He didn't happy about that he needs to stop Buddha's enlightenment, and he came with huge army, the huge army, according to the sources. He came to the Buddha, and we on the back of the elephant called Girimekala, and he came and he waged a war against to the Buddha. But however, he was defeated. He was defeated. That's kind of Devaputta Maharaj's story in our according to our Pali sources. And also, that in the different places, uh, uh, that the Devaputta Mara requested from the Buddha certain request. What are those? Especially when Prince Siddhartha, he renounced his palace, uh, then Mara appeared in front of him, and he appealed and he requested from Prince Siddhartha, oh Prince, don't renounce the palace, okay? The universal monarch, you will be the universal monarch within 7 days. You can do different kind of meritorious deeds. You can rule all the world without any weapon and righteous way, and you can be a universal monarch within 7 days. Therefore, please don't renounce like that. He requested, but Prince ignored his request. That is the moment in the Buddha's life, the first point. That means he appeared in front of the Bodhisattva, and also that he waged a war against the Buddha when Buddhas when attain high enlightenment. But after that means after Buddha's enlightenment, what happened then? He even though he was defeated, again he appeared in front of the Buddha and again requested venerable sir, okay, you won the war, but however now you fulfill perfections, many numerous births and numerous years in the samsara to attain this post. That means that to become a Buddha. Now you achieved, now you got it. But no need to waste the time. Please pass away. Please face the great demise. Now it is time. No need to live again because you have no more than birth. You won the way you fulfilled to the high enlightenment. Now you got it. Now no need to waste the time. Please pass away. Then Mara requested from the Buddha. Then what Buddha mentioned to the Mara? Buddha mentioned, Mara, I don't pass away till my disciples, that means Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Upasaka, Upasika, who will be the qualified in the sasana. Then, till then, I don't pass away. I don't face the great demise like that. Buddha mentioned that. Again, you know that at the, in the during the Buddha's lifetime, he made different kind of problems to the Buddha, and finally, and in the Chapala Chetya, Buddha hinted Ananda, Venerable Ananda, if anyone practice the Chatupati Artha Dhamma Niruttu Pidipana, those Paticambhida, then he can live that the yen or part of yen, like that Kappa or Kappa says. Then, but however, at that time, Mara absorbed the Venerable Ananda's mind. Therefore, Venerable Ananda couldn't invite to the Buddha, Venerable sir, please stay kappa says, because that the Mara, the Venerable Ananda's mind was caught by the Mara at that moment, even though he was the extreme enterer, but the Mara's power is more than that, right? That is why that is more than, because Mara absorbed his mind. That is why Venerable Ananda couldn't invited the Buddha. Therefore, Buddha decided to pass away after 3 months. That is we call Ayusankara was Sajjana. We call that Ayusankara was Sajjana. Then, however, then at that moment again Mara appeared in front of the Buddha. Venerable said, okay, now you passed away. Then Buddha again tell him, don't worry about that. I don't accept your invitation to pass away, but however, I will pass away after 3 months, like that Buddha mentioned to Mar that is the last point, last time he appeared in front of the Buddha, like that and also in the when Buddha preached that doctrine for the monks, he appeared, he disguised as in many different forms. Actually, he disguised once he disguised as a large elephant when Buddha was preaching the Dhamma for the disciples. He disguised as a huge elephant, and he went towards the Buddha. But Buddha identified he as a Mara, and Buddha advised him that I know you who you are. You are the Mara. You can that means cheat me like that. You can make problem me again. Once he disguised as huge cobra. He then in front of the Buddha he appeared as a huge cobra, but Buddha understood it was Mara. It was a Mara. Again, he disguised as the large ox, and he with huge horns, two horns. He approached to the Buddha like ox, huge ox. But Buddha knew it, and Buddha told him, "Oh, you are not the ox, you are the Mar," and he defeated and he disappeared in that place. And also, in the during the time of lifetime of the Buddha, that he made different problems, because once when Buddha was dwelling at the Panchasala Brahmanagama. Brahmanagama, once Buddha lived there, Panchasala Brahmanagama, the Mara absorbed the people's mind, people's mind. Then once, one day, Buddha, in the early in the morning, he went arms down, but no one offered anything to the Buddha. What is the reason of that? Their minds were caught by Mara. That is why their minds did not bend to offer anything to the Buddha. That is why, because that the Mara caught their minds. That is the reason. Okay. Then therefore, again Buddha returned to the monastery without any food, and on the way, Mara appeared in front of the Buddha. Oh, venerable sir, you don't have any food. Please go again to the village. I will support you to take some food. No, evil one. I need not your support for meal. And Buddha, on that day, Buddha practiced fasting. He didn't take anything because he didn't obey to the Mara's words. Okay, in the Panchasala village, and Mara. But however, Mara accumulate much demerit because he stopped in the Buddha's meal, Buddha's dana. It is you know, unexplainable demerits, actually, huge demerit. He accumulate huge demerit like that. And also the once, the venerable Devadatta, he threw the big stone towards the Buddha, and the Buddha was wounded, right? At that moment, the monks, Buddha kept them the place and to for a little rest. Then, seeing the opportunity, again Mara appeared in front of the Buddha. Oh, venerable, you did you stop preaching? Did you stop your religious service, social service? Now are you thinking to rest? And he hinted to the Buddha. The Mara hinted to the Buddha, and then the Buddha mentioned, uh, evil one, in this world, certain people, they are resting with with the arrow in their chest, with the arrow in their chest. Even the people, they don't think to remove the arrow in their chest. They are resting. But I already removed those arrow. Then what is the why what then that kind of me, that I can rest because I remove all my the arrows. What is the arrow of the chest? That means craving. Actually, it's indicate craving. People are resting in their daily life because they don't think they remove their arrow. Arrow means here indicate that the craving, actually craving. And also that the sometimes in other one, the once that it is very famous story that the once Mara entered the Venerable Moggallana's stomach, right? Venerable Moggallana's stomach. Mara entered. Once Venerable Moggallana Arahat, he's the great disciple of the Buddha. Once Buddha, the Venerable Moggallana, he felt that the unfamiliar in his stomach. He thought it is unfamiliar. It is not the problem with the food, but he reminded, what is the reason for that? He didn't take any unsuitable food or something, but and then using his divine power, he checked what it is. Oh, he saw that the Mara, Mara is in the stomach, in his stomach, okay? Then he threatened, we call the Mara Tajaniya Sutta in the, you can read it in the middle length, among the middle length suttas in the Majjhima Nikaya, Mara Tajaniya Sutta, in the Maratha Sutta, and then that the Venerable Moggala threatened to the Mara, please immediately come out. If it is not, I will pass away. I will die. If I die when you are in my stomach, you also will be die. Immediately he came out because that's the Venerable Moggana. He was an arahant because if he threatened to the Mahara, he doesn't care because he know who we are. Okay, we have some defilements, fetters, we have problem. We are not the complete eradicated defilement persons. But however, when Arahant, when Arahant threatened, immediately he came out. And then at that moment, Venerable Moggalan explained who he was. I know who you are. You are my sister's son. I also born as once. I also born as a Mara called Dusi. Dusi, you are my sister's son. Like that, he explained his generation genealogy also. Then that is the Mugga Venerable Mara. That is the evil one's nature. He's making different kind of problems over the uh, problems. And also in the Sutta Nipata, Daniya Sutta, and there is a very beautiful discussion. It is like dialogue. It is like uh, the Buddha and the Daniya Gopala, they exchange their feelings about the Daniya Gopala, stated that about his mundane life, and Buddha explain his supra-mundane life, and like that is it is a discussion like that. Then at the end of the sermon, at the end of the uh, discussion, Daniya Gopala became a noble disciple, noble disciple. And at that moment, Mara appeared there. Mara appeared and he mentioned, Nandati puttehi puttima gomiko gohi tateva nandati. Those who have sons, they are happy. Those who have cattle, they are happy. They are the happiest person in the world. But Buddha mentioned, Buddha knew it was the Mara. Then Buddha mentioned, Sojati putte Buddhima. Those who have son, that is the cause to suffering. Those who have cattle, that is cause to suffering. Then Buddha mentioned, Sojati putte Buddhima, Gomiko Gohitate or such like that. That the Mara tried to prove that the Daniya Gopala has son, be happy with their son and be happy with his cattle. But Buddha mentioned, no, that is not the cause for happiness. You have to, those are the cause for sorrow, because to those who have no cattle, no sons, that is the cause for happiness. Like that, Buddha explained that in the Daniya Sutta, in the Sutta Nipada. And also, that in the Bhikkhuni Sanyutta, when we read in the Sanyutta Nikaya, Bhikkhuni Sanyutta, there are 10 suttas, 10 suttas. Every sutta, it has been mentioned how Mara tried to make problem for the Bhikkhunis. But all the Bhikkhunis, they were Arahant, they identified that was the Mara, but however, he couldn't do anything. But however, it has been mentioned in the Mara Sanjana, in many different places it has been mentioned. And also, finally, I would like to say, Buddha mentioned, dear monks, please, please wander, or please stay in your subject area. Don't go outside your subject area, your realms. What is your what is the outside of the realms? Outside of the realm means for 5 objects: Rupa, Sabda, Gandha, Rasa, Sparsha. Don't cling the objects, those objects, because that is called others realm. Paravisaya, others realm. Don't walk in the Paravisaya, that means others realm. Please stay with your your subject area, that means your realm means seeing the disadvantages of those clinging of 5 objects or 5 aggregates, seeing that stay like that, that is your subject. That is called in certain suttas in the Piya Uruma means heritage of the father. What is the heritage of the father? For mindfulness, for Satara Satipatthana. That is the heritage of the father. Buddha mentioned, Buddha advised us to follow to try to become be a part of the heritage of the father. That means the practice in the Four Noble Truth and Eightfold Path, especially practice in the Eightfold Path, try to become a noble person. that is the brief of the Mara. Some scholars they argue as a defilements. Some scholars they don't like to accept that this certain Pali sources actually. But however, the other thing is, some people they argue that the Mara daughters, those are the defilements. But I personally don't agree with them, because when we read the Pali sources, we can't agree those scholars we use as Pali. That the Mara daughters are the defilements, because according to the Pali sources, those are not the defilements. Those are interpreted as the divine beings actually in the certain times. When we read the Mara Dhyuta Sutta in the Sanyutta Nikaya Mara Sanyutta, you can read the Mara Sanyutta, clearly understand who they are, like that, like that. But Western scholars they don't like to accept some Pali sources and some interpretations. But however, we follow the Pali canon and Pali canonical and related sources. When we read those sources, we can identify the Mara concept as the five ways, like the Panchamara, because when we read the Pancha concept of the Panchamara, we can understand there are defilements also Mara, and our life also kind of Mara, the aggregates that our volitions also Mara, and some our death also Mara. And also kind of we actually in the Pali sources, there are many sources related to divine beings, and in Mara personalized as a divine being also when we read them lots of suttas, then that is the way. Those are the things actually I needed to unveil, the from the Pali canon. That I think that those are beneficial for your Dhamma knowledge. To actually, the last thing is we have to practice Dhamma to defeat the Mara. When we engage with when we clinging the objects, or when we clinging aggregates, we are with the Mara. To defeat the Mara, we have to follow the Buddha's path. That is the things. That is my advice. That is the end of my explanations and explain. And if you have any doubts and any comments, now you can take your chance to ask any doubt or any something else if you have.
So, dear brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, so if you would like to ask Bhante questions, you may use the raise hand function, or you can also simply turn on your microphone. So all are welcome. So Bhante, maybe I repeat one of the questions from last time.
Yes.
So Mara, they actually live in the Deva realm.
Yes.
So some people have the question that if they are not so nice, they are kind of evil, how come they could be Devas? So that was one of the
Yes,
questions my
yes.
friends had.
Yeah, that very good. Thank you very much for your question. Actually, different kind of deities also in the universe, different kind of Brahmas, also different kind of Maras also, and also that is the actually, and that is the post. No one created that kind of post. Actually, that is the nature. Actually, nature create those things. Actually, no one other create those one. The deities also they have different kind of feelings. According to uh, nature, how organized nature, then it goes to the upper level, that the Mara Devaputta in the topmost heaven, that means Parinimita Vasavati is the leader. But they are very joyful persons. They like happiness with mundane things. Also, always they are engaging with passion. Nowadays also the people like that get happiness anyway. But however, Mar also that the one of post in the universe. Then that there sometimes the not only Mar, the other deities also sometimes the Sakra, he fight with asuras time to time, right? Thousands devas, they fight with the asuras. Why they fight with the asuras, right? Like that, the other sometimes. Brahmas, sometimes the Brahmas, they are the pure beings. Actually, they also engage certain things in the human world. Sometimes they come to the Buddha, they visited Buddha and ask something, and sometimes in the ones, not only the Devaputta, he is one of Brahma. He thought, oh, one of Brahma, okay, one of Brahma in the Brahma world. And the one of that, the one of Brahma, he thought, oh, I think no one, no one can come to our world because no any religious beings in the human world to have skill to come our world. And just thinking like that, Brahma, that the Buddha just knew that idea, and he Buddha went there, and he Buddha was up on the top, that means the sky, on the top of his head. And the other arahant also in this. That is the way that the different kind of divine beings and Brahma beings, Brahmas, they have different kind of feelings, right? You know, that the devas like that, they were also like that, Mara also, because they are the, and the other way is the Paranimita Vasavarti, that means according to nature, that means they always, their life is with the happiness with the mundane things. They against to the spiritual things, actually. That is why the leader always against to the Buddhas, because the Buddha show the path to the spirituality, immortality. But Mara like mortality. That means with the death of people born again and again, they are happy with that. That like that. That is the way. The that is the things, actually. That is the nature, the creation of nature. I don't know exactly. That is the certain deities also, they have different feelings, right? That is why he makes problems. That the ones Buddha mentioned in once the Aggapanya Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, those who have power, uh, the foremost is Mara. Foremost is Mara. Those who have power. But among the divine being, Brahma beings, and all the beings, the Buddha is the foremost. But those who have powers, evil powers, the Mara is the foremost, like that. In the Anguttara Nikaya Aggapanyati Sutta, Buddha mentioned like that. You know. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bhante. Sadhu,
Yeah.
sadhu, sadhu.
Yes, I heard.
Okay. Then on. Okay, Monday. May I know how to overcome maras in ourselves? Let's say we are very greedy. We always aim for better things. Or how to overcome all this mara in ourselves?
Yeah, actually, it is. I can answer in shortly or in the with detail. So something, but the overcome to Mara, we have to reduce the power of our evil thoughts. That means that the anger, the greediness and ignorance, the loba dosa moha. But to reduce the power of those evil roots, we have to practice that the eightfold path, noble eightfold path. At the very beginning, we have to go refuge of the triple gem, and we have to practice 5 precepts. That is the first stage of, to defeat the Mara. And again, then we can uh, uh, practice in many different ways to accept the practicing for noble truth, and the sila samadhi prajna trisiksa. It is also included in the eightfold path, actually. Yeah, that is the thing, that is the way we have to practice that the to defeat the Mara. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bhante, for your
Yes.
teaching. Thank you.
If you have no questions, furthermore, that we can conclude the session. Okay, Ivan. Yeah. Okay,
Yes,
then
Bhante.
thank you very much for joining this session. You all join with devotee's mind to this session. Actually, thank you very much, Ivan and Terry, and organizing this kind of events. Okay, and let's share this merit with deities and departed ones and all the beings in the world. Okay, by the power of these merits, all the devas be well and happy, and all the departed ones be well and happy. All the people in the world, especially who are joining this event, and all the people and beings in the world be well and happy. Mm, Finally, may they attain supreme bliss of nirvana, and let's transfer merit to devas like that chant in the verses. Akasatta chubummatta deva naga mahindika punyantang anumodita chiran rakkantu loka sasanang. Akasatta chubummatta deva naga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakkantu desanang. Akasatta ca bummata deva naga mahidika punyantang anumodita chiran rakkantu tang sada. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhante. We learned a lot today.
Thank you, Bhante.
So wonderful.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Bhante. Thank you, sisters and brothers.
Thank you, sisters and brother.
Okay,
night,
have a great day.
Bhante.
Hi. Okay.
Have a blessed weekend for Bhante.
So one more time, I'm sorry.